Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Watumishi podcast, and we are live from Sauti Gang Studios, located in Karen Village along Gong Road. You are highly welcome to visit our studios in case you have any production that you wish to do in terms of recording podcasts and all that. We are readily available to have you on in our studios. Also, we are home of inspirational conversations where we have icons who we bring within our studios to be able to carry out the different interviews in terms of just growth and understanding the different perspectives. And also, we do advertisements, and you can be able to get to us through our email address, that is watumishipodcast@gmail.com, which you should be able to get in touch with us. Additionally, we have our social media presence on YouTube and Instagram, where you can be able to view our interviews as you may wish to do. So today we are happy and glad to have one of the heavyweights in the music scene. And I'm just going to give him the names that he deserves because he has so many titles on him. He's a professional bassist, he's a music director, he's a music teacher, he's a songwriter, he's a musician, he's the founder of Grace Collective, and also he's a convener for the FSO. We call it For Seasons Off. Then we're going to give you the next tag because you already done for this year for the Seasons of Restoration. So let us welcome the one and only Mr. JG, Mr. John Ganda. Welcome to the podcast this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, quite an introduction.
Yeah.
I appreciate the sentiments that you've given there. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well,
very, very privileged to be here. Thank you for the invite. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you for also accepting our invite, and we are humbled also to have you on board. And maybe we're just going to crack down on a few conversation bits about you. We're just going to know more about you. We're going to know more about what you do and in terms of your day-to-day activities, in terms of the music scene and all that. And maybe even before we get into that bit, we wished maybe to just know, where is John Ganda from? Where was he born? Where did he grow? Before maybe we get into the musical bit and how you are able to get into the musical scene.
Okay. I'm from Ugenya, Siaya. Yes, that is where I hail from. Mm-hmm. But growing up, I've grown up in Nairobi, born here in Nairobi, and I've lived here all my life as well. Come from a large family. Just happy to be here, really. I've grown up in Nairobi all along.
Okay. Yeah, and you said you've grown up in Nairobi majorly, and maybe we wish to know which is the high school maybe you attended, and which is the university that you attended, and maybe what did you do in that university or such.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to know about the primary, nursery.
No, we can know. We are easy. We can know that.
Okay. No, yeah. I'm just messing. But straight to high school. I went to some high school in Central over there. So I went to Alliance High School.
Hey.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Spent 4 years in the cold in Kikuyu. Mm-hmm. before I proceeded to university at University of Nairobi. Mm-hmm. I did a degree in biochemistry.
Oh.
Did a BSc biochemistry.
Hey.
Yeah. Why? I don't know. Why did I do that? It's anyone's guess. No, anyway, I always had an interest in science, and as you grow up, you find out more about yourself and what you really want to do. Maybe for me, it took a bit longer. Even after studying biochemistry, I went to study something else, but I didn't finish that.
Okay.
Then I decided I want to spend my life doing music. Yeah, so the progression of life, sometimes you figure things out just as you go along.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome indeed. Awesome indeed.
Yeah.
So it means sciences, I bet sciences across you are very good, because hearing biochemistry, sciences you must have been top.
I think I struggled with physics maybe a little bit. But I think I got help. I got help from teachers along the way, from discussion groups and things like that. Yeah, so physics was my biggest struggle.
Okay.
But tulipata usaidizi, so we made it through.
Yeah.
But I think growing up, I had a little bit of interest in sciences, so that's what maybe pushed me towards that direction a little bit. And of course, as we are brought up in African homes, the way we are brought up, things like music and the arts, they are not really the most favored direction somebody would be encouraged to pick, just generally the way we grow up. So you grow up thinking, okay, which serious course can I do?
Yeah.
So those are the options which you kind of feel like are available to you. Before for me anyway, before I realized, okay, this is something I can do, it maybe took some time. But yeah, sciences were always interesting for me.
From a conversation I had that you did something prior to after the biochem. There's another course that you did. We don't mind knowing which course was that.
Oh,
yeah.
Interestingly, I after studying biochemistry, I went on to study medicine.
Hey.
I went into
Daktari.
I entered into medical school. So I had a medical school phase of my life. Also that was something which came from childhood as well.
Okay.
I think growing up, maybe people always thought I was going to be a doctor. So those things enter your mind a little bit. So when I finished biochemistry, also, I think I looked for a job for a while. And then I was like, maybe it would be better if I do this thing that niende to all out sasa. Niingie sasa, dive in completely head first and just do this thing which people would say that I would do when I was younger.
Wow.
So that's what I did for some time.
Amazing. But still umekuwa tu daktari bado, because now you are daktari wa muziki. You're still treating us with music.
Some would say that, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
so
you said something interesting though. Treating people with music. Okay. Yeah. I'll take that.
So now maybe I want to understand even now as we get into the music bit, maybe in terms of do you have a genealogy of music behind you? Maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, maybe somebody in the lineage, maybe who has the music capabilities prior to you, that is.
I think it all starts from somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe not, a full genealogy of music. Nobody in my family has done music professionally per se.
Okay.
But it all comes from somewhere. My dad to this day always walks around the house whistling a tune. And my dad loves music. I think honestly the love for music must have come from him. Yeah, he goes to sleep listening to music, wakes up listening to music, listens to music throughout the day. And my sisters as well studied music. So we would have when I was growing up, we would have the recorder in the house. That recorder that everyone plays for KCSE. Yeah, we would have the recorder in the house there. And then I think most importantly, probably the thing that impacted me most in getting into music was just my church background. Growing up in Sunday school, we had so many performances, musicals, concerts, plays, etc., and of course just normal Sunday worship. So I think that's what really exposed me to music and helped me to understand that I have a deep love and appreciation for it.
Yeah, okay.
So even going into high school, I think going into high school, I only knew two things. I knew I wanted to study music and I wanted to play basketball. I didn't even know anything else, and I managed to do both of those things. So I think the love really took root within me, just growing up in church and all those plays and all these things. Amazing. Now, as you said, you grew up in church. Did you maybe play different instruments at that point? Because most of even for the host, also for the guests we've had, they have played. Maybe you can hear somebody played two instruments. Maybe started with the keyboard, went to this, now majored on a specific instrument. Maybe your journey, how has it been? Or you maybe just got into the music scene and decided maybe I just want to focus on this specific instrument? What really happened? I never used to play instruments in my teenage years. I used to sing. I used to sing a lot. And even in church, when I got into the worship team, I used to sing. I never used to play instruments. But after high school, it's actually my big sister who sparked this thing in me. I don't even know if she remembers, but she's the one who sparked it in me, because for some reason she was learning the guitar, but ile kimchezo too. So she had a guitar around the house. But after I came out of high school, during that free time, she was like, I have some chord charts here. You can, you love music, so you can try and learn.
Yep.
So she gave me those chord charts, and I ended up becoming the one who actually really took up the instrument. For her, she was maybe just trying out for something for fun.
Okay.
But I think I really took it up, and I got really invested into it. I was spending late hours into the night just learning chords and things like that.
Okay.
And that's where I started. That's where I started playing the guitar.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was an acoustic or a bass?
Yeah, I started with the acoustic.
Oh, nice.
I used to play the acoustic a lot more.
These days you play bass more than acoustic.
These days I just play the bass. The bass, the love for the bass really took me and carried me off.
Just take it over.
Yeah. So I just play the bass nowadays. Okay. I do still play the acoustic guitar. I don't really play it in front of any audience or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and along the way also I picked up a little bit of knowledge of keyboard as well, just some chords here and there.
Oh, nice.
So I dabble in that sometimes a little bit.
Oh, I see. You've diversified the music capabilities, which is awesome.
We love it, so we learn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you being a musician, I bet as I was going through the some of the profiles, I found that you released some tracks some years back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there is one called Barakatele. There is one called
the host did research
before you know.
The internet does not forget.
Yeah, I saw those two tracks and I was just amazed by the content in it. And maybe now that brings me to the question: what is the inspiration behind the songwriting of your songs? Because these are just some of them, and I know you have so much more in store. What is the inspiration? Is it a daily experience? Is it people's experience? Is it your own experiences? Or it's a merge up of all those experiences? Okay,
good question. I feel I generally write best from an authentic place or from my own perspective.
Okay.
Because I believe that the inspiration for me writing music at all is so that I can share my faith with people, actually. So for me, any music that I write is supposed to testify to something.
Indeed.
I'm a believer and a follower of Christ.
Yeah.
So that's just something that has always been deep within me, that I want to share this faith through this passion that God has given me, because I really have a deep love and passion for music. So the combination of that love and passion and this faith is something which is very important for me. So the whole inspiration behind it is I want this music to tell stories about my experience, the experiences that I've had with God, things that I've seen about Him, things that I know about Him, things that He's showed me, things that He's taken me through. So I find that when I write like that, then I'm able to write something authentic and something which is more impactful. I think when I try to write maybe songs from outside, because as a songwriter, sometimes in training and in learning, you're encouraged, okay, write about this other thing or write from this perspective. But I just feel like that's okay to develop as a skill and work on the muscle. But when I'm actually writing music that I want to share with people, I really try to write from an authentic place and an authentic perspective of my experience, so that it can be a testimony.
Wow, amazing. Hey, such a good word, to just listen from all that experience and all that.
Thank
you. Basically, I just maybe wanted to know, you told me you stayed quite in Nairobi for a while, and maybe when it was the year that you just decided, now let me get into this music scene, ministry now, do it professionally, or be able to be in any band or any kind of a music group that maybe, which year was it? Maybe you joined a different band group. Then you came up. Before now we go to the vision behind Grace Collective and all the other.
When you asked that question, it took me back to an interesting place in my memory. When I made the decision to do music full time professionally, that was in 2021. Believe it. I believe it must have been. No, it might have been 2022. I think the years are moving, so I'm blanking on the year. It was either 2021 or 2022. Yeah, more likely 2021. But that's when I decided to do music professionally, full time and only. Okay. Before then, I had always been doing music. It's kind of a progression, because I think in 2018 was the time that I had a conviction that I needed to do more as far as music is concerned. So 2018 is when the whole idea of Grace Collective started. So those two things came together. I felt like I needed to do more within this music and within this ministry. And then also now that led to the birth of Grace Collective as one of the things that I was doing. And yeah, so it has been just a progression of things falling in place along the way. But 2021, I quit what I was doing. I quit all other things that I was doing, and I decided to focus on music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Indeed great. Now we want to talk about Grace Collective, and we want to talk about For Seasons.
One of my favorite subjects.
Yes. So you want maybe just to understand what was the vision behind you having Grace Collective, and maybe what really inspired you to see, like, I need to have kind of team that you're able to progress towards music writing and all that.
I'll tell a story, a short story. Because I remember it was just a very vivid day in my memory. Okay. Because I was walking. I was taking an evening walk. I was just at home and I was taking an evening walk. So as I was just walking on the street, I felt a very heavy conviction that I'd loved music and been in music and in worship really essentially all my life. Okay. But I felt this really strong conviction that this is the time to start something. This is the time to start a team, start a band, start an organization, call it whatever. But the thing is that conviction was so deep and so strong as I was walking home that evening. So I remember asking God, okay, this is something that I want to do, but why is it that now it's like there's this really pressing need? And of course those are not necessarily things that God answers. Yeah. But the conviction was there. And so I decided to start a team called Grace Collective. And I think in the past I had maybe tried to start a band before, start a music group, but it hadn't necessarily worked out. You know, something would always fall apart somewhere. Maybe people are not really available, or you find that maybe you're the one who has. Of course, people are willing, but you're the one who has the real passion for it. You know, and the people that God has placed in your life at the time, they have other things that they are focusing on, etc., etc. But at this time, it actually worked out. And my approach to it at the time was, I'm starting a team and we're doing a concert. It wasn't like I'm starting a team and then we figure out what we're going to do. It was like, I'm starting a team and we are doing a concert.
You had a clear objective.
Yeah, so I call people together. First I thought of the name for the team. Then I called people together. I just pulled my contacts of people that I'd met over time that I felt could contribute. And then we started.
Wow. Yeah. My second question was to ask you, what was the criteria of you deciding I have 10 people, but I believe the 3 of them are the people I need for this move?
My criteria. You have some criteria, but you can't have too many, because again you have to work with the people that God has placed in your life. Yeah, there's a reason He's put them there. If He's given you a vision and they are the ones who are there, you know, you don't necessarily have to reach across borders. But my criteria honestly was I needed people who, there are these people who you meet and you can see the love and the passion for music in them.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things. You meet some people and you can see this person has the desire to grow musically.
Yeah.
They are invested in this thing. They're always listening to. Unapata mtu anasikiza covers, anasikiza renditions, anasikiza arrangements. Like they're just these people who have the passion for it.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things. And the second thing was also now just skill. I wanted people who have the capacity.
You had you had a threshold skill set a bit. It's good enough you want to come now and start building before you move.
Because of course if you want to do something good, you have to have good people.
Yeah, true.
So that's also there's also the balance of like these people are available and then these people are able. So it's finding the balance of where people fall within that, because there can be some people who are available but they are not as capable as others. So it's the balance of that.
Okay.
So those are the things I was looking for.
So that is basically for both instrumentalist and vocalist.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, nice. It's a good. It should be a very good team then. If it's a skill set, it should be a very good team.
I hope so. No, I know so. It's a good team, and also like since then it has grown so much.
Yeah.
And what I'm really proud of. I'm really proud of what we have built now, because it's just the capacity within the team right now is amazing. What we can be able to accomplish is not what I even imagined at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And having said that, it's of course you bring too many skill sets together. So that brings my question of within the skill set, of course we might be having songwriters within them. So that brings the question is for the Grace Collective, I believe it's majorly made of different individuals who might be songwriters at the end of the day. So does the band compose of songs written across with the band members, or it's maybe specifics in terms of maybe people who we can say they have the skill set of writing, or it's just an encompass of everyone who at least has the nature to write or has the conviction to write? Yeah. With
GC right now, it encompasses a whole lot of skill sets. So even just beyond even the musicians, we have people who are good at media. We have people who are good at photography. We have people who are good at design. We have people who are good administrators.
Okay.
We have people who are good event planners. But like to address your question, fortunately it's a collective. And that was also part of my whole idea, was that it's not it's a collective of people who are all gifted and gifted in their own right. So we have everybody pitching in to do things. So whether it's songwriting, starting with songwriting, like even for example the songs that we did at our concert on the 9th of February, they were written by different people. Some of them are singers, some of them are instrumentalists. So the goal is to allow people to use their gifting to minister to the people of God. So it's not one person writes songs, there's a lead singer, there's this and that. It's just a collective of people who are very gifted, who come together now to serve that one vision. Yeah.
Indeed, amazing. So I believe as the team came together is when now we had the birth of 4 seasons of restoration, 4 seasons of all the other episodes that we've had. So it means that through now the team is when we are able now to form 4 seasons of where now we are able to host the events, the different concerts that we have already seen projected in our medias, and we've already attended one of them, which was the latest one, 4 seasons of restoration.
I hope you had a good time.
We indeed enjoyed.
And we enjoyed your registration as well. Sir.
We indeed enjoyed. We were really honored to be in that place. We said out of all bands in the world, oh my, Watumishi band.
It's because of the relationship. I think I believe in just genuine relationships. And friendships. If you have people who have shown you goodwill and kindness and genuineness, those are the people you want to have around generally. So we really appreciate, honestly.
Wow, indeed amazing. So far, I think we have had how many seasons of? I believe there are 5, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, this last one was the 5th one.
Right. It's been a walk.
It has been quite a walk.
It's been quite a walk, and maybe that now brings me to the question of across the organization of the 4 seasons of. I believe there is a lot of coordination in terms of the different aspects of the event and hosting and merchandise and everything. And maybe I believe there's someone also out here who wants to be able to do something of the sort, and maybe you can give them a nugget about event organization, or maybe the lessons that you've learned about event organization and about just bringing the whole cake to one table. Yeah,
there are very many nuggets. If some people should look for me. Anyone wants nuggets, they should look for. Even just when you ask that question, so many things come to mind that hata zingine zinapotea, just because of, the best way to learn things is by doing things. When you do things, you're hit with the lessons non-stop. The lessons slap you in the face. But maybe how many nuggets?
No, you can give as many as you wish.
Okay. Anyway, nasema hivyo, maybe I don't even have that many. But I think one of the things, like you've mentioned, there are so many things that go into it.
Yeah.
And if I look back at the first 4 seasons of concert, I'm pretty sure I did most of the things. I definitely had some help.
Yeah.
I definitely had some help, but I also carried a lot of the weight. Fast forward to FSO, we call it FSO for short.
Yeah.
FSO 5 now. We had so many people doing things. I personally, I was moved by that, because when you've seen something grow from nothing to where it is now, and of course it's not that I'm saying we are big or we've arrived or anything like that, but just me knowing where it has come from. One of the best nuggets that I have is just the power of people, the power of people and genuine relationships. What we were able to do in this last episode, I remember saying it on stage. We could never have done any of it if ati mimi nilikuwa nakimbizana na kila kitu. So we had so many people pitching in, even not just limited to the organizing team of Grace Collective, which is there, not limited to the leadership of Grace Collective rather, but even beyond that, people coming in to sell merchandise, people coming in to sell tickets, people coming in to usher, so many different roles people were playing, stage hands, people in media, people in the sound team, like too many roles to mention. I remember taking a step back and looking at how many people are involved and just wondering, wow, God, this is quite a blessing. And for me, I think the best thing you can have is the trust and love of people.
Yeah.
Because if you have that, you may find that there are things you will not pay for. Or even if you pay for them, you may pay for them and somebody will let you pay less, and they will actually deliver more than what is expected of them.
Yeah.
Out of the fact that they see you as a genuine person and you have a genuine relationship with them. Yeah. I think a lot of people, their approach to, maybe if you're starting out as an artist or a worshipper, or you want to grow in ministry, I think for some people the approach would be, let me go reach out to somebody who has made it and see, how can they help me? Let me ask them for a favor. But I think the thing that I've learned is that may not necessarily work, because somebody who's whatever, call it at a high level in ministry, they are chasing the things that they are doing.
Yeah, true.
They don't know you, so see at yata kobaya, they may not be able to assist you.
Very true.
But the people that you have genuine relationships with, they will come through for you in ways that you don't even expect. And but the key thing is that it's from genuine relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
So people build people.
Yeah, people build people. People are everything. It's not, the skill is one thing, capacity is one thing, whatever, intelligence. But if you have the right people around you, the distance you can go is exponentially increased.
Wow.
Yeah.
Such a great word. People build people. So our views, people build people. Stay with people well. And maybe aside from the Grace Collective, where you majorly the founder and convener, aside from that, have you played with different artists maybe in and out of Kenya in terms of the different gigs that you've had throughout the journey of your professional playing of the instruments?
One day I hope to play for Kirk Franklin. It's just one of those things that I always just had at the back of my mind. But I've played with people. I've not played with anyone outside Kenya as an artist. Although I have played outside Kenya, yes. But I've played with other artists in Kenya. I recently played for a group called One to Another. They are on YouTube as well. You can check them out. Nice. They do beautiful congregational music.
Otta.
Yeah, Otta. You should definitely check them out. I've played for them, and I've played consistently with them and other artists as well. In the course of ministry, you meet people. Sometimes you get called for a gig. Sometimes you sit in the house and wait to get called. That's just how it is. But I really, my focus generally is on Grace Collective. Because actually, the other day I realized that I was talking. God was telling me, this is what you do. Grace Collective, this is what you do. So I really do major on that.
Playing with the different artists, maybe. What is your experience in terms of how is it? Is it diverse, or do artists come with needs and wants and say, I want this music to be played like this? And how maybe are you able to even maybe tell them, this kind of music, yes, I know what you want, but at the end of the day, I'm going also to give you a production that also it's in my best interest to give you the best production that you want to get out of this particular music. So how do you curb that in terms of I'm giving you, there is this artist giving me a want, and also there is that basis that I'm seeing, yes, you're telling me this, but also in my own set skill, I also want to ensure that I'm giving you the best quality of what you want to project.
Yeah, I think the thing that clinches everything is trust. If an artist trusts you, they listen to your vision. Interestingly, I think that many artists' sound is heavily inspired by their music director or their band.
Yes, it's very true.
So the key thing is having that trust relationship between the artist and the music director or the band, because a lot of the time the people who will arrange your music and create the sound, especially if you're going for, because we are talking in this case about bands and like a live setting.
Yes.
If you're going for a live setting and live music, the people who will create your sound is your band. So the thing is just to find the artist that trusts you, or rather find a way to get an artist to trust you. Because if they don't, then there can be some push and pull. But generally the major distinction is maybe some artists want heavy arrangements in their music, and there's some artists who just want we just want simple music. Sometimes as bandits, we call ourselves bandits. You're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to unleash all the arrangements that you picked up when you are listening to Kinalingas. So it's all about finding that trust, but also you now as an instrumentalist, trying to serve the artist and trying to serve the music that they are trying to do. And here, I play in the ministry setting. So ultimately the goal is to create a platform for the music to speak to people. If you're doing worship music, you want to create a platform for that music to to reach God and allow other people to reach God as well. If you're doing more evangelical music or testimony music, you want it to be able to communicate the message to the people that you're singing it to. So my experience is that you should always come back to what purpose are we serving, and that also helps you. That also helps you to gain the trust of the artist, because if they feel like our amekuja tu kuonyesha skill yao, then that's where problems start. But if they feel like, okay, we have a genuine relationship and you're actually trying to serve the same goal I'm serving, then things work out.
And as even as you were speaking, you said about I asked you about the Kenyan, and you said partly you had also played outside. Maybe I'm just intrigued to know where were you playing, which concert was it, or which gig was it, or which
yes. It's a good memory. It's a good memory. This is just last year. I don't think I've played outside of Kenya before last year. But I was fortunate to get the opportunity to go to Kigali, Rwanda. We were part of a team from Kenya that was playing at a festival there. The name of that festival is escaping me, but it's fine. We're part of a Kenyan team that was going to play at a festival there. So I actually got the opportunity to travel outside of Kenya because of music, which was a big win for me. We are walking this journey and hoping to grow and learn and get better. So that was a really big win for me, because sometimes you're here and you're doing this music and you're like, is this even working? But every time you get a win like that, it's very encouraging, and you look back and you say, okay, this is a notch that I have on my cap.
And maybe as we are still in Rwanda, how do you maybe I can say maybe your perspective or your rate in terms of the Rwandese type musicians or Rwandese bandits who are playing music? How did you feel it? Or how did you feel like also these guys are putting in the work, or how was it on your end?
The beauty of like a festival, it was a week long. So there were so many acts. There were so many acts that we got to see. And it wasn't all, it wasn't purely music, like it wasn't bands, it was performers of all kinds. There's dancers and actors and graphic artists, illustrators, all those type of things. So one thing, and then it was from all over Africa. One thing I will say is that there's a level of creativity that you see when you kind of get out of your setting. I think we are used to the line of thinking that we have around here.
True.
But when you get out, you just see a different line of thinking. Maybe it's because people are creating for different target audiences or for out of a different purpose. But you can see music, for example, just being played completely differently than you would play it. I was talking to a bassist from Uganda, and I was just telling him there's a way that he interprets his bass lines that I don't think I've had so much around here. It's not even that the skill level, that I'm not saying that we don't have skill level. I mean, like, just different interpretation. So I really appreciated seeing that diversity of interpretation of art and expression. Like you watch people doing. I remember watching a one man silent, no dialogue play. So it was one man on stage, no dialogue, but his performance was so gripping and so engaging that you're like, oh, okay. Mimi nimekaa hapa, I'm trying to draw up 15 arrangements for the intro, for this song. I'm trying to figure out how I can go through all the chords, all the 12 chromatic notes of the scale before I even start the song. But this guy is like, I don't even need to talk for you to get my message. Things amazing. Like that. Hey. It was very interesting.
That's amazing. And now that brings me up to another question to ask you. Maybe who are the musicians that you listen to, both in and out of Kenya, and also maybe the one bassist that comes out on top of mind, and I just ask you, maybe I want a referral. Give me a referral of someone I can just listen to. Apart from you, that is, who can you be able to vouch for in terms of maybe who we have grown up listening? Because I believe that we are in diverse types of listening to different types of musicians and all that. So who are the musicians you listen to, and who are the bassists or that you also listen to too much?
I love giving shout outs. I love appreciating people. Let me start with musicians. So I think I'll just talk about maybe the Kenyan ones.
Yeah.
Because the international ones, anyway, they've got enough love. I really, out of the musicians I really respect and admire, like is Noel Nderitu. Definitely, I'm a big fan of his, just because since I started to interact with his music, I just felt like it was his level of musicality is very high, and then his music was always very, very unique and unlike anything else that we normally hear. But also he's you can tell that he's really worked on his music, on his craft. That's what I was looking for. He's really worked on his craft. He plays his instruments, keyboard. I've seen him play keyboard, guitar, bass. He's writing, he's singing, he's performing, he's producing. That's something I really appreciate. And then he stayed in the game. Also Alice Kimanzi, just someone I find I just keep respecting because of the work that she puts in consistently, and she just does the work. She just does the work, and she didn't start 5 years ago, 10 years ago. She started kitambo, putting in the work and continuing to minister, and just keeping that the main thing. There are so many musicians, bassists. I really let me give two. There are so many, but there are so many. I really appreciate Mike Munene's playing. Mike Munene of Shamsi, and then Shamsi and so many others. He plays for Dina Ogoti, and he plays all over. But his bass playing is just so heavy and so it's very foundational. Like anabeba hiyo mziki throughout. And then his bass lines are really, really strong and fundamental. And it's not like he can't do, it's not like he can't do things. He plays jazz, so he can do things. But aside from that, his bass lines are really fundamental and very, very strong. Like, because as a bassist, if you don't know that you're the one who's supposed to make people groove, like you're the one who's getting into the hearts of people and making them dance. So he's actually really able to do that. Another one is Moise Basinza. Moise Basinza. Bass lines are Moise. I want to be able to think of bass lines like that. You can go back and replay them. But to create them, I wish I could understand how he thinks. It's like we are playing 3D and him is playing 4D bass. So I really, really respect. And his bass lines are so melodic and diverse and interesting. So those are two bassists I respect. Nick Kera is just that's a crazy man. That gentleman is insane in his bass lines. We
need to check up on Nick Kera.
we need to check on Nick Kera if he's just okay. Or if there's something wrong. But his bass lines are out of this world, and his tone, whatever things he has done to that guitar of his, he can also inform us so that we catch up. Those are some of the many. Let me shout out Simeon Diang as well. I don't know, the young man just came up, started playing bass, and then all of a sudden he reached virtuoso level. So I don't know what he was doing in the night, but that's another one who really is defining the instrument in our country now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There are so many. If I haven't shouted you out, it's not because I don't appreciate you, but there are many.
I appreciate their contribution in the music ministry. Yeah, and maybe now, since you decided to do music professionally, maybe just my question was, is it making sense in terms of your daily living and maybe sorting out your 1 and 2 bills here and there. As per now, is it making sense? Are you able to do your 1-2 stuff with the music being the base of maybe like I say source of income? Yep.
Short answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Short answer is no. Do I need to give context? I think that maybe I don't know if this is everyone's experience. Maybe it will make sense. Maybe it will make sense one day.
Yes.
Financially in this country, or maybe it's just me, but financially it doesn't make sense to do it only. Yeah. Maybe at a certain level of maybe at a certain level, there are people who are making, and I know there are people who are making money from it, but even they would probably say, ikitu hapana, I need a bunch of other things. So I don't do it for, I've come to understand I definitely don't do it for the money, without a doubt. But also, if there's something that God has called you to do genuinely, and me, I think over time I've come to accept and understand that, and this is something God put in my heart. You find ways, not you find ways. He finds ways to sustain you. Without there are ways you may not expect, or ways maybe if somebody had asked you, if God provides you for you like this, will you be okay? And you're like, I would rather He doesn't do it that way. But then God finds ways. Yeah. So if someone is thinking about this, someone is thinking of approaching this from the angle of, I'm going to get into music or music ministry, so that
I make
this
progress.
Will be, so that I progress financially. It might not be. I will advise you to take a step back, take a step back, take a breath, and reconsider.
Okay.
But it's something that has to. You do it if it's from what God has called you to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, that's such a.
And you cannot leave that.
And maybe additionally, maybe to just ask, what's your thought on the level of live music in our country, Kenya? Do you feel, at what level do you feel we are at? Comparing it to our neighbors, Tanzania. Tanzania, I see most of their concerts and gigs, they do live music mostly. But I believe in Kenya we are striving towards. But maybe I just wanted to get a bit of your contribution on it. Do you think if we will have more live music, we'll have also more opportunities for people to also be able to grow in diverse ways in terms of their playing and all that? Because I believe we have so many instrumentalists within the country, but we might not know all of them. We might know a few who we are always seeing on media and all that, but we might have so many good people on the ground, but hatuwezi wajua because maybe I'm presuming maybe if we don't have such avenues to share out music and all that.
Live music in Kenya, I think is doing very well, by the way. I think the fruit needs to catch up. The product is really good.
Okay.
So where the challenge is on the money side, I would say, because if people have amazing ideas, and they are amazingly talented musicians in this country, my goodness, you find a keyboardist you've never heard of, you've never seen them anywhere, but the things that he's able to do, the arrangements that he's able to create, like you meet people who are even unknowns, or you go on TikTok, so you find some band there, jingle band, whatever. They're doing arrangements that you're like, who are these people? So live music has come a long way, and we're in a good place. So maybe the challenge, without a doubt, comes in as far as structures, in this country. For example, there are no platforms. There are no performance venues, for example.
True.
If you want to, because if you go to other places, you find that there are several performance venues for every category. If you want 500 people, there are several places you can go. If you want 1,000 people, there are several places you can go.
True.
5,000, several places. 30,000, several places you can go. Here, if you want to do a concert or 50 people, where do you go?
Mm-hmm.
You have to start thinking about, okay, now which restaurant have I seen?
I book a field.
Yeah.
I put a tent.
If you want to do a concert of 500 people,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that one maybe you say I'll go to National Theatre
Mm-hmm.
or I'll go to Allianz, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to do a concert for 2,000, where do you go? If you want to do a concert for 30,000, where do you go? And if you find that on that day KNT is booked,
yeah,
where do you go? So, for example, there are no platforms for people to put up entertainment, worship, There are just no platforms.
Yeah.
And then there are no structures that support, genuinely there are no structures that support this space. If people talk about the MCSKs and whatever copyright, those things, they don't work for the creatives at all.
Very true.
So live music, the talent is there. And you find that even when people cross over, now, like you find, like let's take an example of Nyasha Ngoloma, when she went to TZ,
yes.
and she was part of that concert, which is, all the songs are now coming out now, and she also released hers.
Yes.
You see, she just held her own. It wasn't like she was out of her depth when I'm outshine or anything like that.
Yeah, true.
The talent is there
immense.
in plenty. So everything else kind of needs to catch up. Also the I would say, the, what do I call it, the audience, or the people who are following as well. We also do need to have that supporting our own,
sharing,
supporting our own, and not to mean that we should support, listen to that. Listen to them, but also listen to your own people. There are people who are doing equally good work.
Very true.
That you should listen to as well.
Yeah, very true. Wow, amazing. And maybe now I just wanted to, as we finalize, I wanted us to get a nugget on the growing artists in terms of those people who are coming up, and maybe they want to get into the levels of professionalism and ministry and all that. What maybe is that one word that you'll give them in terms of, or one word or one phrase that you'll give them in terms of their growth, or one anchor word that they can use even as they grow in those specific type of environment?
Okay. This has been on my mind often.
Yeah.
I'll put it like this: you shouldn't look to be big. Look to be good.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are trying to be big.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to be good.
And
it sounds simple, but I realize that thing is not. People don't quite get that. Like you find somebody investing in, for example, like their brand, my logo, my website, my, I dress like this is my brand. But it's like what you should first prioritize is getting good, because your brand essentially is how good you are. If people will associate you with how good you are.
Yes, very true.
If I'm looking for a drama, I don't need him to have a website.
Yes.
But I need him to play well.
Yes.
So, and that cuts across a lot of things as well, because it also informs. If you have that mentality of I'm trying to get big, it also informs how you interact with people.
Yeah.
Because there are some people. The moment they meet someone who they feel has amefika, their whole tone changes. They start acting differently, and before you know it, they've maybe asked for a favor, or can we do a collaboration? Can I cut and raise for you? So sometimes when you have that mentality, it actually prevents you from going far. But if you have the mentality of, what I'm trying to do is get really, really good at this, whether I'm a singer, an instrumentalist, a music director, a writer. If you have the mentality of I'm really trying to get good, you know that your work will go before you.
Yeah, true.
Before you even get there.
True.
If people see that, I know these guys, even if it's just a little thing, because you realize also people within this space, they are intelligent enough to tell like how good someone is.
Yeah, very true.
So that should be your main focus. And I think that's probably the best nugget I would give to someone. Your main focus should just be, how do I get good rather than how do I get big.
Oh.
Yeah, if you get good, the bigness is more likely to follow. But if you're chasing the views and the virality and the, big names, that may not work for you necessarily. Yeah, hopefully that's good advice.
Wow, that's good advice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a previous guest that we had. Is called Roberto. He said, "Quantity will bring quality." Do the more that you can do until the quality is there. When there is quality, someone will just spot there is quality there.
Put in the work. Because it's also like looking at, if you look at those people who have made it, the difference, let me say made it, in quotes, the difference between you and them is the time that they've put in.
Yeah.
I remember listening to Alice Kimanzi talking on Noel Derritu's podcast, and she was saying, there are songs from early 2000s that she did BGVs on, and people don't even know.
Yeah.
But you can imagine, by the time she was even releasing her song, it was several years later. So people may have thought, Alice Kimanzi started out with Alice Kimanzi alianza na, I don't know, maybe her first song was Chukua. I'm not sure. But somebody may think that's where she started.
Yeah.
That's actually not true. She started even way before that, putting in the work, BGV, working on her skill. So, like you said, quantity will bring the quality. The more you just put in the work. Put in the work. Stop thinking about all these other bells and whistles or that sijui my social media is like this. I don't know what.
I want it there.
You put in the work. Put in the work.
Yeah,
get good. Then these other things are additions. There are people who don't even do social media.
Yes.
And if you're thinking about this is how to get gigs is social media, there are people who don't even do social media.
Very true.
I mean, if that's your preference, if what you're looking for is gigs, for example, people who don't even do social media, but everybody looks for them because they know they're good.
Yeah, even as we finish up, maybe I'm to ask you is, do you offer musical classes? And if you do, how can people get in touch with you for the viewers who maybe want to be able to be advised and be guided on the different aspects of music, maybe if they want to play their bass or any other that you indeed play, how can they be able to get in touch with you?
Yes. Actually, I do teach. Teaching is one of the things I genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
So I teach the bass. I teach acoustic guitar as well.
Wow.
So I think the easiest way to reach me is through my Instagram.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What's your handle?
J Ganda _ I hope. Yes, it should be J Ganda _ you don't actually think about your handle. You see it all the time. But in case it's not that, maybe we can put something on the video.
Our director will put something below all of the handles.
It should be J Ganda _ GANDA. That is.
You're present in Instagram and any other platform that you are also present in?
Oh, yeah. Remembering these handles will be impossible. But
okay, we'll attach all
the. I'm also on TikTok. Should be J Ganda _ as well.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter or X. That one I can't remember the name. We will look for it.
Wow. Wow, amazing to have you on our episode today, and we are very privileged and humbled.
It's
we
been
appreciate
a genuine pleasure for me. A genuine pleasure.
We really appreciate your time and your sacrifice to just get here. And as I promised, we just go easy, Yeah. So for our viewers, we appreciate episode. We mark the end of the episode by our own, but to our guest, Mr. John Ganda. We really appreciate you big time, and follow him on all the social media spaces. I shall attach the social media handles below. Other than that, have a great time, a blessed day and afternoon, or whichever wherever you're watching us from. Peace out. Adios.